Good morning, professional photographers of Idaho. I'm Bob Ryder.
And
I just pressed the record button.
And we're recording now.
Yeah, we are.
But it'll be, we can push it up to YouTube later.
Yeah, so. I can. So if you notice, we're back on Facebook today. I could not schedule our stream with YouTube.
Yeah.
It took about 4 days for us to get back into our account after something weird.
Yeah.
And then I can see everything, I could do everything, I could even go live, but I couldn't schedule a live, so I've got to sort that out.
When he says being weird, it doesn't mean we were hacked or anything like that. It was a technical issue that we couldn't resolve between texts and everything else. So it just, it is what it is. It's okay. Technical thing.
So let's see if we've got, I'm going to just jump on here and see if our friends have joined us. It should be telling us that we are live. It hasn't told us that yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. We're going to keep talking. I know we're on air.
Yeah.
I can see it over on the Facebook side. Facebook hasn't told me, so I need to find that. Why don't you want to try and find that?
Sure.
While we just carry some conversation here.
Sure.
We've got a couple of things. I've got a little treat for you, if you're willing. Check out our new ticker across the bottom of the deal. You're going to like this. Build a strong community through people, education, and leadership. What does that sound like?
Yeah, that sounds like our mission statement.
That sounds like our mission statement.
Yeah.
Your board of directors was away at a leadership retreat last week. We worked 16-hour days.
We worked tirelessly.
It was exhausting.
Yeah.
But we had some great input from David Trust. He's the CEO over at PPA. He came out and spoke to us for an entire day.
Yeah.
Gave us some great education, some great conversation as well.
Yep.
And following that, we came together.
And pretty much enlightened us on the direction of PPA.
Yes.
And the direction of some of the affiliates, and however that goes for them, not us necessarily, for them. And it was just, he was scheduled to speak, I think, from between like 9 and 2, and he left at 4:30 or something like that. And we started at 8. Yeah.
We did.
So, and then, and then we carried those conversations on until midnight plus both days. So it was well worth it, well worth the conversation, the trip, all that stuff. And you and I, in particular, have been busy the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so
I am so grateful for the connections that I've made in this last just 3 months with our local Chamber of Commerce, and through another group that I belong to called Toulouse, and some very high quality connections. Some really great work coming out of it. I texted you last night about a client I had in the studio yesterday, and I think we all want this client.
Oh, I would love to have that client.
I'm going to drop that off there. There we go. And then we're going to come over here and just throw on our topic for the day. And I'm just doing the wrong thing. Let's get the ticker turned off. Hide, that's what I'm trying to do.
There we go.
There we go. And let's go back to the lower thirds. I'm going to come back to our topic here. Do you even live? Do you even pro, bro?
Exactly.
Do you even live? Jive?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you even pro, bro?
Should we be charging for this live?
I'm concerned because I can't see it here on Facebook that we are doing a thing.
Yeah, I am too.
So what if we just take a minute and go over to our page?
Okay. Cache is full.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
So let's come over here and see if it's showing us.
I was about ready to hit that button, but I decided not to because I didn't want to screw it up.
Well, and I have this is off our network right now. It's just running off the cellular.
Oh, good.
And it should be backing our signal. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's our event. I'm just taking a minute to see if you're out there. I would love to be able to communicate with the people that we've got coming on today.
It says happening now, online event.
Yeah, online event.
But then it says go live.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to carry on because we're going to post this afterwards.
Yeah.
We've got a really cool topic.
We do.
I was going to come back and talk about this client I had this week, who is a very successful businessman in his own right. And he was in here yesterday. He's got this great look. He's 60. He's just got this great kind of weathered, well-fit look. And he brought a great wardrobe with him.
Nice.
This is like the client that you want, right? He brought a great wardrobe with him. Fitted shirts, pressed, cleaned, everything perfect. And we had a gas. We had a good time for about 2 hours. We created some great images. And in the end, when I'm doing kind of the call-in selection process with him, we landed at 10. He's like, I don't know. I like them all. I'll just take them all.
Yeah, can't beat that.
right?
Cha-ching. Yeah.
And it's the money's great.
Well, I think
that runs the business, right?
But more importantly, he saw the value in every one of those headshots, and you've talked about this, for a different purpose, right? So he's looking at those headshots going, geez, whatever he does, I need that one for this, and I need that one for this, and I need that one for LinkedIn or whatever it is. So he saw the value in all those things, and we've kind of harped on that about, telling the people about the value you bring to whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether that be a wall hanging or a headshot, for example, or whatever. So it's awesome that he saw the value in that and just said, can't decide, I'll do all of them.
I just restarted our stream.
Okay.
Because Facebook was saying it wasn't there, and now it's not there either. So, and it says it says everything's working great, and then it just went flashing, so we know it's not. So let's record. Yeah. And we're going to keep this to about half an hour because you've got a lot going on. You have an event tomorrow.
Have an event tomorrow.
That's a big deal.
And of all the times today, I'm racing back here from Nampa this morning, where our event is, and of all the things on Locust Grove, a train stops right on the tracks.
Oh, he stopped on the. Oh, yeah. Do that because
so I come sliding up into the nest of cars. And I texted you. I said, I don't believe this.
Right.
And it's not like you go around it or go move it.
It's a train.
You're there, yeah. So
let's come back to this topic. I'm going to throw it back up here today. Do you even bro? Yeah,
this is we put this out there. We put this little thing out there to our ambassadors and the board, and one of them fired right back and said, it's a constant concern about the pro label, as it were, a constant concern.
He said 70% of the people surveyed in PPA didn't feel they were professional enough to wear the title.
Yeah. And we've talked about this a lot. It all goes back. I mean, I don't even care. Reel that back in. If you're charging money and you're bringing in some cash and you offer your services as a business, you're pretty much a pro.
So we could break that down a little bit. And so this is going to speak to a few things. This is going to speak to that imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Which is, I feel like it's a sense of I'm in over my head.
Right.
Right?
Which everybody is at the start, right?
And there are moments where
we are.
Yeah, it's certainly this is an issue with the live streaming, and I've been at this for a long time now, over a year, and we've
tried. Listen, for those of you out there, Bob's tried countless number of ways to get this up, invested countless dollars in it, and it's just especially with Facebook, which is why we have to get the YouTube thing straightened out, but especially with Facebook, it's
just been challenging.
It's challenging.
I just got a text from Jennifer Alvey. She's our president. She says, where is the link for the live? And I think we're just going to have to be...
all kinds of people are looking for us.
Yeah, there's six messages in that queue looking for us. It just simply didn't go. Maybe should I take a minute, or do you want to keep recording, or what do you want to do?
Let's just keep going. Sure.
All right, so you could tell them that we're recording it, and we will post it to our YouTube channel this afternoon. And we're just going to carry on because I don't want to kill this topic with bad technology.
Me either.
And I think what Larry was saying is we are really working on getting this all straightened out. I think the number one issue, I need to run a hardwire into this space.
Yeah.
To get that connection.
I'm not really convinced that will. I think a lot of it is.
It eliminates any of the broadband issues I have at my end because we have a very strong pipe up at the router.
Yeah.
Up at the modem. So anyway, that's that. So imposter syndrome, this is this thing where you're working for somebody, you're doing a job, you're running the camera, you're trying to manage settings and subjects, and you're trying to run your business, and you're supposed to be blogging and vlogging, and you're supposed to have a YouTube presence, and you're supposed to be on Instagram and Facebook, and how do you do it all? And we've kind of talked about a lot of these segments along the way, but the reality is I was so surprised when David said that 70% were not feeling
the love. The pro love.
The pro love, right?
Yeah.
So we bring this all back, and I tongue in cheek, do you even pro, bro? That's, I'm just trying to lighten it a little bit, because the reality is, and I think you're going there too, if you're taking money, any kind of money, small money or big money, if you're taking money to do photography and you deliver any kind of a product, tangible or digital, you are working in the pro space.
Correct.
So, and this isn't to chastise,
No.
but I think that if you are working in the pro space, it is incumbent upon you to grow your skill set.
Exactly.
To grow your people skills.
Yep.
To grow your confidence. To
Which, by the way, is exactly where PPI and PPA come in.
there are some irony there.
What a revelation,
Let me take the lower thirds off there for
Okay.
a minute.
All right.
I think it's that button. New machine over here, right?
Yep.
And let's come back to the ticker so they can all see this.
You missed another.
Right? No, I think we got it right here.
Okay.
Boop, ticker.
There we go.
Our mission, and it's so much more than mission,
Yeah.
is to build a strong community through people, education, and leadership. And you can't operate as an island.
You try.
Well,
it doesn't.
and you can do it for a period of time,
Right.
but I guarantee you. I guarantee you two things.
The best quote that David had. Do you mind?
Go for it.
All right. A rising tide raises all ships.
Right.
And that's what we have talked about since you and I have been doing this together.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this. Listen, we're all about community, and we're all about helping each other out. And we brought numerous and countless examples of, I was a wedding shooter. I personally cannot shoot every wedding in the Treasure Valley. I just can't do it.
We've talked about my 1% theory.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
all this stuff. And it doesn't, the only thing that coming together as a community does is rise everybody up, just like that tide.
It does lift everybody.
So there's no, people are going, well, he's a shoot and burner on those weddings and he's only charging $500. Well, you know what? Then that's our job to educate that person.
So that plays right into what I was going to say is I know a couple of things about being that island. And by an island, I mean you are you, yourself.
Yeah.
It's like me, myself, and I, right? And you have no resources beyond maybe your friend network. And I want to talk about that for a minute in just a second. The friend network, right? But you're that island. Like, you're doing all of it yourself.
Yep.
You're running yourself ragged. You're not making any real money. When you start to look at how much money you made an hour between all the time communicating with the client, the time traveling to be with the client.
It's just your cost of goods, right?
The day, let's take weddings, because there's a lot of wedding shooters amongst us. Most wedding days for me are like 14 hours plus.
Yeah, easy.
Right?
Yep.
And that's just the shoot, on your feet, hustling equipment, dealing with people and all of that. My text messages are like right now because we're not out there.
My phone's just vibrating like crazy.
Facebook moved my cheese this week. It's been frustrating. So you're that island, right? And you haven't tapped into a professional network. You haven't tapped into professional resources.
Yep.
Okay? You're going to burn out because you're not making any money and you're working a lot of hours. That whole badge of honor, we've talked about this, the whole badge of honor of, oh, I'm so busy. And, oh, I was up till 2 this morning editing, or I was up all night editing.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with hustle.
We just talked about this a little bit on a chat because just as a side note, we had a little chat about the new Canon sensor, which is a 1 megapixel sensor, but instead of pixels, it captures photons.
Photons!
So you're talking about, what was it, 22,000 frames a second or some nonsense?
That's just absurd.
It was absurd. Anyway, somebody said on the chat, I'd hate to edit all that. And instantly I answered back, time to outsource. So that's what he's talking about is the pro level of things. You know, if you're doing that shoot and burn and shoot and burn's horrible anyway, but
let's come to that for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's just stop there for a minute because we've got a lot of shoot and burn
We
photographers in our community, and I want all of them
absolutely
to find professional resources and discover. So I have a friend, she was a shoot and burn photographer for years. we started talking education and talking about pro resources and about managing your time and about all those things. And a few weeks later, she came in and she was crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I hate it. And what do you hate? She's like, I hate it all. I'm working so hard and I'm not making any money. And I've taken up all my family time. Okay, so shoot and burn is a very logical place to start your business.
Yep, absolutely.
You got the barrier to entry for photography is the cell phone you have in your pocket.
Right.
Right? I was going to grab mine, but it's got a cord and a stand, and that was a nightmare. So the barrier to entry is very low to get into photography and start earning a little bit of money and start developing your skills, and of course start building a portfolio and start deciding what you like and building some expertise. Great. So that's a great place to start. It's very logical.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And then you realize you get to that point where you're just not making it, and it's not feeding you either, both mentally and physically, right? So you get to that point. What's next? Well, that's where your professional network comes in.
Exactly.
And that's where learning how to do things
and I think a lot of
according to an industry standard.
Right. And I think we're just validating a lot of stuff that the people that are new to the industry know or are realizing that, you can't, it's just not sustainable. That model of shooting at a low price with, and not trying to improve yourself is just not a sustainable model. It just doesn't really work. And just like your friend, did, they'll quit before they, before they go any further. And we don't want people to quit. We want people to, we're trying to lift the photographic industry up as a whole, not Bob and not Larry.
And that's why I want to not be critical of the shoot and burn photographer, because it's a logical place to start.
Right.
It's a logical place to grow from.
Right.
It's a logical business model to grow out of, but it's a great place to get in and get experience. You've seen what our folks are doing over there.
Yeah, they're just...
I tried one more thing that I thought may be doing the thing, but it's not doing the thing. I just can't even get it to work.
So Jen Alvey is posting on social media right now what exactly is going on. And we'll have it up
we're just
on
going to
YouTube.
have to put it up when we're done, and we've got about another 10 minutes that we're going to chat, and then we'll get you down the road and get me down the road. Do you even pro, bro? It's kind of this concept of I'm going to step outside my comfort zone, take some work, and try something new. Or maybe it's something I've been doing a lot of, and I still get nervous every time. Frankly, so I'll tell you where my insecurity lies. Yeah. My insecurity lies in going to do a job and having equipment failure.
Oh, yeah.
So I know my skill set.
Right.
I can handle pretty much anything that the client wants to throw at me. You want to shoot natural light, we can shoot natural light. You want to shoot in a dark closet, we can shoot in a dark closet. I have the equipment to cover that range of things. This week I had a nice session in the studio yesterday. We shoot tethered, right? What did I tell you was happening the night before? Can't tether.
Can't tether.
Can't tether. The laptop wouldn't receive the camera.
Yeah.
You know what happened? Windows pushed an update. It knocked out the driver for the USB-C port.
Or it could be as simple as something like a cable, like we had difficulties with the little stream camera in Idaho Falls so it turns out, for you techies out there, that a 25-foot mini HDMI to HDMI cable micro is not a good idea. There's a reason why you can't hardly find them.
You have to have a booster in it.
Yeah, in the middle of it. So there's lots of that stuff. And to your point, equipment failure or equipment challenges. I mean, sometimes I've been asked, I don't know how many times do you even pro, bro? Here's a good example. Everybody knows that I'm a photographer. Everybody knows what I do. Everybody knows how I work. I have been asked on the spot, not a pre-consult, nothing. And let's face it, if you're a photographer at all, your camera and some of your stuff's going with you just about everywhere you go. Most people know I carry that stuff. So I have been challenged, and I just have one 80-200 in my bag. Now it's a 100, but 80-200.
You have a strobe.
I have a strobe and a trigger, and I've been challenged to, would you take our family's picture?
Right here, right now.
Right now. Yeah.
Throw it now.
And we're ready to get assembled here. We're all here. They don't care what they're wearing necessarily.
Yeah.
And I listen, this is real. We're all here, and I don't know, it's noon or 1 o'clock, and we make light of that. Do you even bro? But when you join an organization such as PPI, PPA, or you get a mentor or help somewhere,
or your CPP,
or any of the training, or let's say you're headed toward your master's, or any of the stuff you do,
yeah.
Whatever you do will help you with that bro thing. Because when I did it, I wasn't happy with it. That doesn't matter. They were
happy.
And this is all about green merits for you people that are watching, and I got green merits out of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was going to go put that out for a magazine or something, but they were very happy with it. And I think when you're beginning, that's from my experience only. When I was, I'm just hit my mic. Sorry. When I was beginning, I was scared spitless, and I think 100% correct. The shooting bird, because I was one of them, is ideal to enter that world. But then, as you get more and more work, like your friend, you need to elevate your game, elevate your position, and that's what.
So let's talk confidence and things that they can do to build confidence.
Well, those competitions. As much as
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I know. As much as I hate to say this, no, seriously, the competitions will help you build confidence.
So print competition and image competition.
Yep.
And we're not the only game in town. PPI, PPA is not the only game in town.
Right.
I know some of the larger camera clubs do image competitions.
That's a brilliant place to start.
That is a brilliant place to start.
You go to a local camera association, and I know High Desert has I think Magic Valley has one, where they have actually a little competition every month or something like that.
While we're camped on this thing about having people review your images, that's what image competition is.
Right.
Is having somebody look at your image and critique it. Right.
Right.
You need to get out of your affirmation circle.
Yes.
Okay. So your friends. I was talking to a young photographer the other day, and just starting to have that PPI conversation. I'm like, tell me about your professional circle. Well, I've got a few friends that we all have cameras. I'm like, that's okay, great. You do not want feedback from your friends. They're your affirmation circle. They're gonna make you feel good about what you do, which is great. If you're looking for thumbs up and likes from your family and friends, that's great, but that is not professional development.
Facebook postings, Instagram
postings
are not professional development.
Yeah.
So you can get some of that, and if you subject your images to any type of social media, you're going to get probably more than you asked for. So, and that's another thing I want to, like new shooters or just people that just don't wear your heart out on your sleeve. Listen, it's art. It's subjective. I've never merited in a certifiable like a PPA, PPI competition. I've never merited ever. 79, best I got. I'm good. That's green merits, people. Personally, I'm not good with it.
Yeah.
I want higher, but I learn a little something every time I do it, and every time I do it, I say I'm not going to do it again. And every time I do it again, then I learn a little something more.
So let's come back to confidence building, because that's how we got down this topic.
Yep.
So print competition, image competition is a good one. Peer review, maybe not such a good one, right?
Right.
Let's come back to confidence building and talk about surrounding yourself with people, A, on the same mission as you, and that's a topic coming up we're going to talk about.
Right.
And B, with greater talent than you have.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, that's not a super comfortable place to be low man on the totem pole in any audience like that.
And let me tell you that the more I do this, the more I realize that I don't know everything anyway, right? I mean, it doesn't.
I've had a lot of people tell me that all my life.
Yeah, exactly.
You think you know everything? Well,
But it's true. If you go to one of our shootouts or something else, I'll ask questions.
Yeah.
Because there's always something. I mean, I'm not real sure that anybody can stand up and say, I know everything there is to know about photography.
No.
I don't think that's true.
And that's why we've got members that have been members of this organization for 45 years.
Right, and we lean on those members.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's a lot of knowledge in those noggins, and we.
I was talking to another photographer. You inspired me.
Wow.
You took me birding.
I did take him.
We found another dirt road.
We did.
And did some birding together.
Kim.
Critchfield?
No.
Mentor?
Yeah. She challenged kind of that. Are you going to stop there on your way back?
Yeah.
And I took that as a, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go do that. So
that was in the plan.
You know, the first thing that I discovered birding with Larry is that a 200 millimeter lens is not long enough.
Not even close.
The next thing I discovered is that 45 megapixel cameras let you crop a lot, right?
Which makes your 200 millimeter closer.
I got back. I've got a friend here, Sandy Lindbergh, who does bird photography and does it well. So I'm like, all right. I hit her up for questions. I'm like, I love your work. Tell me what lens you favor. She's using the RF 100 to 500. Good information.
Yeah.
So I have lenses within that range, so that made me think, I wonder where she camps in that range. Mm-hmm. So I asked her, do you have a preferred focal length that you find yourself at?
250,
most often.
300, yeah.
500.
All the way.
All the time.
Nice.
She said the bird's always on the other side of the field or the pond or whatever it is, other side of the road or whatever it is. I'm like, okay.
Well,
so
go ahead.
500.
Are you going to get one?
No.
Okay.
No. I do think that I would like to intentionally go on a birding expedition and rent a 600 millimeter lens to do it with.
So I have kind of my preference back in the day when I was packing stuff up into the mountains and trying to get a picture of moose eyeballs and stuff was I took my 200, now I had a crop sensor, 7D crop sensor, a 200 with a 1.4 converter on the ass end of it. Now the 200 was a 2.8, the 1.4 converter was Canon. It was like just a pass through, so that got me.
Doubled your focal length or?
Oh no, it got me up to 540, I think it was, at 2.8. Which, 540 at 3.5, I believe it was at the end of the day. But still, that was pretty darn good compared to what I was doing, which was the 200 f2.8. So, and I introduced you to another.
He always accuses me of not playing.
Well, I do accuse Bob of not playing because every time we go out to shoot something, I don't want to shoot that. I'll just go shoot these leaves or whatever for my backdrops, which is fine. I shouldn't bag on you about that. I know.
Because I have great backdrops,
he does,
right?
And I'm jealous because I don't. But I did introduce you to a new term, the blind driver.
The blind driver. Blind driver.
Not the blind.
The truck was the blind.
Yeah.
The only problem with the truck as blind is that it rumbles and crunches, and the birds were like, truck!
It rumbles and crunches. It's a 3/4 ton, and there's no shock. Well, there are shocks on it, but you can't tell.
Right?
Anyway,
nice.
We digress.
We do digress a little bit. Listen, we're right on time here, and I just want to say, do you pro, bro? What I really want to say with that is imposter syndrome is real, and don't feel bad for having it. I want to lift people out of this for a minute.
Right.
I want to say, if you experience imposter syndrome, if you have that feeling of not being pro enough, surround yourself with community, surround yourself with people who are better at what you do or have been doing it longer. Take opportunities for certification and education that's besides watching the talking heads on YouTube.
Right.
Go someplace, sit with some people, and learn some stuff.
So a lot of people ask how come we go to conferences and whatever. I can tell you right now, I go to Shutterfest. I go to imaging, but not as much. I'm not like a yearly guy, but I am.
We're going in January, right?
Yeah, we're going. But I attend Shutterfest, and they're going, oh yeah, it's just a party. Well, yeah, it is a party. It's a party of like-minded individuals, and I can tell you right now that the party talk is probably non-existent, but the photography talk is 24/7 while we're there.
I've had that same experience.
it's a fun time. Do we just sit around, a bunch of nerds around a table going, yeah, you know that kid, and make a picture? No, we don't do that. What we do is we solve real world
we do
problems.
some of that.
Yeah, well, we do some. Yeah, but we do solve real world problems where, you know, geez, I was out at this marsh and I had a 200. I had a buddy driving a 3/4-ton truck, and he said it was a blind, except for I was shaking all over. You know, and it's that kind of stuff that you know, I'm making light of it, but it's that kind of stuff that you learn on. Our community is what you can learn from. PPA is something you can learn from.
You bet.
And we encourage anybody that wants to elevate their game to join us, because there's like I said, those guys have been here for 45 years, have a lot of stuff in their brains that we can just pull. If you ask them, they spill it out. I don't know of anybody in our community at the moment that will not answer your questions to you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't.
So I heard you say, spend time with people doing the same thing.
Yes.
So I think next week's topic, we've got a topic in the Trello for surround yourself with people on the same mission.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the lionesses and all that.
Yeah. You have that graphic?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So next Friday, I don't know where we're going to be live, but we're going to really work hard to get live.
Do you think we could pull some people in, like maybe the board?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think that we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
But I think that we need to get this working.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
For sure. So
Yep.
anyway, join us next week. We're going to be trying to be live at 11. We'll either be on Facebook or YouTube, or maybe I'll just have my own server. I don't know. I'm not going to have my own server. That's a whole other nightmare, right?
Hopefully we'll be on our platform that serves up our video. Hopefully we can get this YouTube thing figured out. So.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching. Sorry it didn't work out online, but I'm glad that you're watching the replay.
ppofIdaho.com. The join us button, right there it is. Thanks for watching.